Hey guys, I know during this time that we're home, Miss Penny has been um, posting a lot of stuff geared towards the kids. So I just wanted to kind of reach out to the parents and do a little training for the parents today. Um, I know while we're home, we'll more than likely be doing a lot of reading with our babies and our younger kids. A little more than what we typically would. And I know everybody in my program typically does a reading log every month, and I will post one for April. I'll just post it on the Facebook page, and then if you just want to screenshot it, you can kind of use your little marker on your picture editing to kind of color it in if you want with the kiddos, or if you do happen to have a printer at home, you could print it out and have your kids color it in for every 10 minutes of reading like we typically do. Um, but I just kind of wanted to talk about a technique called dialogic reading, and it is a technique that's used throughout early learning by a lot of educators, a lot of preschool classrooms, and it is a very easy technique to use. And you guys, as parents, you have a great opportunity right now to use this technique with your little ones while they're home. And then also, as they move forward and become older and 3 and 4 and 5 year olds, I know anytime we talk about strategies or parent trainings and stuff, it might seem a little overwhelming, or you know maybe you may be a little too busy and think you don't have a whole lot of time to be able to accomplish it. But I promise you, what I'm about to show you is something that is very simple and something that could be very easily incorporated into any reading, even if you were like doing a read aloud on YouTube, or you guys are listening to a reading that I've done. You could pause and use this technique, and it will not take that long. But the benefits will have rewards that last for a lifetime. Um, what dialogic reading is, it is a process that you do when you read with your children to prompt them in different ways to expand on language, and to really get them kind of thinking on a higher level. I'm going to demonstrate it here with the book here in a minute, and you guys will see it. It's a very simple. Um, and then over the next week, I will post the same book 3 times. And my plan will be to post it on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The same book. And in each day, I'm going to do part of dialogic reading with it, so you can kind of see it in action there too. But I promise you, this is something very simple that you can do at home every day, and you'll be pros at it, and you'll be amazing. So first of all, I want to give you a little acronym, and it is called, I gotta look it up because I know it's called PEER, but I want to make sure that I give you guys the right information about it. um, Peer is called when you prompt the child to say something about the book. Okay, and that can be anything. The book can be, oh, you're prompted on, what's this book about, baby? And they see a duck on it and they say duck. Okay, it is evaluating your child's response to the book. And then expanding on the child's response by rephrasing what they're saying, or adding a little information to it. Like, so if your child says, this book's about a duck, you can say, that's right, it is about a duck. What is this duck doing? This duck's going to go in a pond. He's going to see, his friends and whatever else the book says about it. It's just expanding just a little bit more. And then it's about repeating, because as we know, children learn through experiences and through play, but they also learn through repetition. So, by repeating the responses and things, it helps you be able to evaluate whether they're comprehending what you're telling them. So, as we go through and we prompt our children, and when we're reading with them, one technique you can use is called completion prompts. And what that means is, just like a rhyme, you read Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle Twinkle Little, and what do you want them to say? Star. That's a completion prompt. If you're reading a book about take Little Red Riding Hood, just for example. And you say Little Red Riding Hood went into the, and then they're going to say woods, because the trees are all around and everything. So those are just completion prompts where you really want them just to finish the sentence. And after you've read a book to them a couple of times, they're going to be able to do this, especially the same story. You want them to be able to do recall prompts. And what this is when you ask them to tell you a little bit about it. So say you've read, take this book for example. It's called The Snowy Day. And I might say, what do you think this book might be about? And then they're able to tell me, oh, it's about a little boy. His name is Peter. He's playing in the snow. Now our older kids are going to be able to do that. And I'd say about 3 years old, maybe two, they could say it's Peter, snow, But that is the early beginning stages of dialogic reading. So, and then open-ended prompts, which that just means any type of question that doesn't require yes or no. And then we have WH questions, which are why, when, where. Where was Peter playing in the snow? Oh, he was in the city. That's right. And another thing you can do with your infants and your really young toddlers is you can describe what's going on in the book to them that's not just necessarily the text, to give them a better understanding, because the more words we expose them to, the more words that they're going to be able to retain. And the more we expose them to those same words repeatedly, the better they understand the definition of those words. Because that's all that our infants and toddlers are doing, is trying to figure out the language in which we work with them with to be able to communicate. So, and the last one is distance prompting. And this would be for like a 2.5-year-old or 3-year-old, because you want them to relate anything that you're reading to them to real life. So if you were reading this book with your child, you would say, so Peter played in the snow. When was the time that we played in the snow? Does it snow in the winter or does it snow in the summer? Just things like that to get them to think that, to apply this to a real world setting. And it's really easy to do once you get in the hang of doing it. So I'm going to go through this book really quickly, and I'm going to use just some dialogic reading techniques for like older 2.5, 3-year-olds, 3.5-year-olds that are in our program. And then I'm also going to give you an example of reading this book to infant toddlers, 1 and 2-year-olds, and even to babies that are, less than a year. And there are going to be 2 different strategies that I use. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I would read this to a child. We're going to say at 2.5, 3.5 years old, because those are the older kids in our program. Okay. So first, what Miss Penny would do, and you could do as a parent, is you're always going to want to tell them the title of the book and the author. So if I was reading this, I'd say, okay, Sally Sue, we're going to read the book today called The Snowy Day. And it's written by Ezra Jack Keats. And it's okay to say that's an author, because you want them to know. You want them to know that the author is the one that wrote the book. And you also want them to know that you can even say an illustrator is the person that made the pictures. Now, are they really going to really truly know what that is at 2.5, 3 years old? No, but exposing them to that language is helping them, because even though they might not be able to articulate that to you, when someone brings up that vocabulary to them later, they're going to know what that is. The more you expose it to them, the more you use that language in your everyday reading with your children. So, I'm just going to use Sally Sue as an example. Sally. And I'm going to say, Sally, today we're going to read The Snowy Day. It's by Ezra Jack Keats. And I'm going to put, one winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. Sally, that's how I would prompt her. Sally, what do you think? Have you looked outside before and found snow outside? Has it snow falling anytime at your house? And then, your child's going to say, yeah, Mama, remember that one time we ran outside and we played? Then you could talk about, what cold weather feels like. Do we need to wear a coat in this? Or does Peter need to wear, just a light jacket? Those are some simple dialogic reading techniques to use in a book with a kid that's 2.5 to 3.5 years old. So the next page, I'll just read like 3 pages. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled really high along the street to make a path for walking. And then at this point in this story, I could use the big mounds of snow. What do those look like? Wow, those kind of look like mountains. Have we ever been to the mountains? That's what I would ask my child. And then I would say, if you had a big snow pile like that, what would you do with it? What are some things that you could do with that much snow? And then the child is going to answer. And then you could even say, what do you think Peter's about to do with all that snow? Do you think he could climb it? And those are just the type of prompts that you're going to want to do. Instead of just reading the story, you're expanding on the story and getting your child to be involved in the storytelling and being able to tell the story themselves. And the idea is, after several minutes of several times of reading this, your child is going to be able to tell the story for you just by turning the pages. So, now I'm going to act like I'm reading it to a infant. Someone, under 1 year old up to, we'll say 2 years old. Okay? Basically, instead of really doing the prompting questions, and you could do some, you couldn't, maybe not as many open-ended ones, but you could say, where's Peter at? Where's the snow? And they could point those type of things out in the book. But like in this, I would read this page to them and I'd say, one winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. And then I'd say, look, Peter has a window. Look, right there's our window. Go look out the window. I would say that to a 2-year-old. What do you see? And then they'd come back over and they'd say, I see people or the sun or the doggy or the car. And I'd say, that's right. And let's see what Peter says. Peter sees the snow. Okay, that's kind of how I do it. And I'd be like, oh, Peter has a bed. Do you have a bed? Does your bed look like Peter's? That's how I would talk to a 2-year-old. And a 1-year-old, I would read this book and I would say, oh, look, Peter's looking out the window. Peter says, oh, that snow. Look at that snow. It's cold. Ooh, cold. Then for an infant, I would say, oh, Peter's outside walking. He's making footprints in the snow. And then I would go, boom, 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 and make little noises and show them. And I'd say, oh, he has a red snowsuit. Look at the snow piled really, really high. And instead of really using the words in the story, I would probably use the pictures. Because at their age, they really should be looking at picture books. But that just kind of gives you a simple way to use dialogic reading and some reading techniques with your kids over the next few weeks. I hope this has helped you a little bit. I just, reading is really, really important with our young kiddos, and any type of reading we can do with them, any type of strategies, techniques we can use with them, it just helps them become lifelong learners, and that's what we want. You want it, I want it, and anything that I can do to help you guys along that path, I'm happy to do. And I have one last book, and it's like a counting book that you could do with younger readers, especially, 1 or 2 1-year-olds. It's very repetitive. Kids love this that are that age. And even if you got on YouTube, you'll find books that have actually the words. You don't have to have the physical book to read to your child. You can go onto YouTube, and there's read-alouds, and there's animations that have the book up close like this, and you can see the words and the numbers. So I just wanted to take the time to speak with the parents today and, do this little training on dialogic reading and some techniques to use with your infant and toddlers. So if you just try some of these techniques with your kiddos, and let me know that you've watched this video so I know at least you participated in this training. And I'll try to think of some things that maybe I can post maybe one a week or something like that that can kind of help you guys as you're home. And if you have any topics, please, please comment below. Hey, Penny, can you do one on, positive guidance, or can you do one on routines, or can you do one on how to help your child count, or anything like that, or maybe Penny, can you do a parent training on activities to do with young infants? I'll be glad to do that with you guys. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this. And I want to give you a website that you can go to that is really good for reading, and it's called readingrockets.org. And if you go there, it's all about reading, and you can get a lot of information about reading to young children on there. So I hope this helps you guys, and thank you for letting me spend some time with you. Have a good day.